Hey everybody, Brian Zane here with J Biggs. We are here in Orlando, the site of Wrestlemania Snickers. We are in our hotel room in the least porny angle we could possibly get with the limitations of what's here in this room. Right. We're going to go over our predictions of the big show happening on Sunday, and let's go along for the ultimate thrill ride. Cruiserweight Championship, Austin Aries going after Neville's title. Everyone seems to be of the opinion that this match was unfairly put into the kickoff show. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, now knowing that the six-pack challenge with the Women's Championship on SmackDown is going to be on the main show, I kind of, in a way, agree. I think this match should have been.
You would have kept the six-pack challenge on the kickoff?
I would absolutely have kept it on.
Because ultimately, something's got to go in the kickoff show.
Well, right,
and the Cruiserweight Championship, although people like the Cruiserweight division, it's kind of the unproven division right now. It it needs to gain its respect. But anyway, let's talk about who you think is going to win.
I think Austin Aries is going to win. That's what it looks like they're setting up for anyways, but maybe not.
Yeah, I'm in the opinion that Neville's going to win. I think that, I'm trying to think of who Neville would face after beating Aries after Mania. Maybe a rematch, I don't know. But like we talked about this off air, that the trend with so many mid-card storylines is, traditionally, they always used to end at WrestleMania, but nowadays they just are continued on.
Backlash or something.
To Payback or Extreme Rules. So who knows? I have a hunch that Neville's going to retain.
It's possible, but I'm going to go with Austin Aries.
Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I'm not going to go over every entry, but there's 30 people involved in the match. The question here, Biggs, I guess, isn't whether or not Braun Strowman will win. It's how many people will he eliminate on the way to doing that.
Well, and my thought on it, Brian, is I'm actually going to go with the possibility of Sami Zayn winning this year. Yeah, I think it's kind of a cool way for them to put somebody over the last couple of years anyways.
So what you're saying is the Big Show was really helped out by winning the Battle Royal a couple years ago. He really needed that push. I get what you're saying about having Sami win because it's good launching pad for him, and it does on one hand seem like a good way to end the storyline where he's been continually getting dicked around by the Authority and Stephanie and stuff. But at the same time, this just seems to be Braun's time. If not now, if he's not going to be getting anything else more prominent in the Battle Royal Mania, I think this is the time to just have him destroy people. A match that was in the pre-show but has now been moved to the main card. Women's six-pack challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss defending against Mickie James, Natalya, Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Carmella. Did I get them all right? They kept putting off who was going to be, what's the match type? What's the match type? And ultimately, it's, six-pack challenge. Okay, I think that the safest route you could have possibly gone with that. They seem to cap it at 6 now, which means a lot of people say, oh, well, Asuka's not going to show up. I'm still pulling for Eva Marie, but it's probably not going to happen.
Oh
but I mean, I think people might even theorize, like, oh, the women's match got bumped back into the main card. Asuka debut confirmed. Where do you see this match ending? Do you think Naomi's going to pull off the victory and win in Orlando?
God, they really were pushing her the last couple months until she got hurt. So I think this might be her time. It is her hometown, something to that effect. But at the same time, I think Alexa Bliss is actually doing some pretty cool stuff over on SmackDown. She's the one I'm most interested in the match.
I don't really see Alexa retaining the belt. I don't really see half of the women winning it. I think it really just comes down to, I think the most logical choice for me is Naomi. I'm still kind of thinking maybe Bliss will retain, and last minute kind of like, stole the win. But
I'd like to see that, but you never know here.
Triple threat ladder match for the Raw Tag titles. You got the Good Brothers defending against Enzo and Cass, and Sheamus and Cesaro. And again, the question is not who's going to win that match, but will the Hardys show up?
Oh, God. This is the first I'm hearing about this. I guess
really?
I'm an ostrich or something. I've had my head in the sand. But you know what? Hardys or not, this should be a pretty decent match.
I mean, these all do hard-hitting stuff, and I think the ladders would be it's a nice wrinkle. Like I said when it was first announced, I wasn't excited about the triple threat between these three teams because we've seen them fight over and over. I feel like we've had this match already, but the ladder element adds a lot to me.
Absolutely, and it does. But I would say I'm still going to go with Enzo and Cass no matter what. I think this is the build-up that's been going on, and
this feels like the logical conclusion again.
It does, yeah.
Intercontinental Championship match, Dean Ambrose defending against Baron Corbin. I was kind of surprised we didn't have a forklift match stipulation thrown in this thing, because the forklift was a big focal point for a while, and then this kind of backed off it. Then on proper SmackDown, the go home, we didn't talk about that match at all. They had it on Talking Smack, but that was it.
I think this is his time to stamp himself in WrestleMania history, past the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and like I said, this is the catapult, and this is the final destination. I think at least for this year anyway, for Baron Corbin. I think he's going to walk out the champ.
Yes, I agree. I think this was kind of like this is his come out year. It's just this is like his year of dominance from the Battle Royal. onward. So yeah, I agree with you. I think Corbin is going to win and become the new champion. U.S. title match as Chris Jericho defends against Kevin Owens. A match that for a long time I thought was worthy of being the main event for Raw at WrestleMania, if not the whole show.
Yeah, I absolutely thought that. In fact, I pretty much thought that, or even Finn Balor was going to be the way they were going to go.
Answered everything, Finn Balor.
Right.
I mean,
not that I want to, I'm just saying.
But that was like the most, I think, best developed storyline they've had on Raw, with the exception of Triple H and Seth Rollins, which we'll get to in a minute. I think that was, had the most weight to it, even though people kind of saw it coming. I mean, it felt right. And then in the wake of Goldberg winning the championship, that kind of got moved down to a lesser belt. Kind of makes you think this is why Jericho won that belt in the first place, because he hadn't done too much with it since he won it. So this is the first real one-on-one match I can recall us having between the two of them. So I'm really excited about it. I think it has a great story, two great wrestlers, and it'll be a great payoff. Who do you think's going to win?
Well, I think with the rumors of Jericho going back on another tour with Fozzy again, I think it's obviously going to be Kevin Owens. You know, and it would make sense. He got a big win last year over AJ Styles. You know, let's give Kevin Owens this match.
Right, it's going to build Kevin Owens in a huge way. The Great Oxymoron, a fatal four-way elimination match for the Raw Women's Championship as Bayley defends against Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Nia Jax. This has kind of been a show where, as we predict things, like a lot of people are predicting the obvious things to happen, which makes me think that maybe sometimes they'll swerve us and not have the obvious things.
Right.
But the obvious conclusion to this seems to be Sasha Banks is going to turn on Bayley in some form or fashion.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if it'll be the turn. I think we might get the disappointment from Bayley at this. Like Sasha has the opportunity to do the right thing, but she doesn't, or something to that effect, or takes the win and it progresses it more.
A moral dilemma.
You know?
A moral dilemma is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much like a moral dilemma. Exactly.
I mean, that's
I could see that.
You could theorize that, and then the breaking point happens after WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to be Nia Jax. I don't think Bayley's going to retain, which means it's going to be Charlotte, who I don't think is going to win either. I think she has less of a chance than Nia Jax does, and Sasha Banks. I think the finale is going to be Sasha Banks betraying Bayley. Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles, a match that a lot of people don't want to see at Mania, but I'm of the opinion that these two guys are both great performers. They both overachieve, especially Shane McMahon. So I would not be surprised if this match were, one of the contenders for match of the night.
It possibly could end up being that way. There's no doubt about that. I mean, obviously they've been putting over the fact it's going to be a very traditional match, which isn't usually Shane's thing.
Yeah, because even in his prime, Shane was booked in a way that kind of protected him from having to wrestle traditional matches. So with this happening, it's almost kind of a dead giveaway, but he might pull out some surprises.
And I also think I know this might sound absurd, but I look back at things like Jericho beat AJ last year at Mania. I almost think let's give AJ a win at Mania.
Well, yeah, he better.
Yeah, something to that effect. So.
He damn well better win.
Right.
John Cena and Nikki Bella against The Miz and Maurice. It's so weird. For the last... what are you holding?
A ring.
For the last few years, people have always been complaining about John Cena and saying, he needs to be away from the main event. But for the last few WrestleManias, he's been in the mid-card. Like 30 with Bray Wyatt, 31 with Rusev, 32 he wasn't even on the show except for the run-in at the end with The Rock.
That's right.
And then this year, mixed tag team match, not for a championship, no other crazy stipulations, and it seems like we've been wanting it for so long, or people have been asking for so long, but now it's just like this drop in relevance for John Cena. Not to say, he was still in the biggest segment of SmackDown this week, so it's like he's not being forgotten. It just seems like a weird drop, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you know what? It's the total Bellas segment of Mania. It really is. They're going to have weeks and weeks and weeks of footage to play on either of those shows. So
it'll be a 2-hour finale special.
Right. It may pay off more for WWE in the end to have him do something like this than it actually would for him to go out there and work the
the rumor. It's not even a rumor. It's just rampant speculation and wishful thinking that John Cena, after beating The Miz and Maurice, which we all know he's going to do, will then propose to Nikki Bella after the match. Do you buy into this? Do you think it's going to happen?
I kind of do. I don't know. I would think it would be kind of cool for Cena to swerve us, and be like, I was just joking, and kind of that be like oh damn, he's cold.
That would be interesting. That's the heel turn. Wouldn't it be so funny if...
Would it really be his heel turn?
Wouldn't it be so funny if the much wanted and waited for John Cena heel turn is on Nikki Bella? Wouldn't that be the biggest heel fucking move he could do?
Right. Right through there.
Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. You know, I don't think Taker's going to be able to work his way out of this one. I mean, he'll work. I'm just saying it's not going to win. That's what I was trying to get at.
I like the build, Brian. I like how they're making Roman Reigns look like he's unafraid of the Undertaker's stuff. You know, like his mind games, his
like they faced him one time,
thing. Right? You know,
it's funny because we were talking about this, and I mentioned this week on Who Wore It Better. Is that really the only heel in the last like 10 years of the Undertaker's rise and his streak and everything, who did not really sell the scariness of the Undertaker was CM Punk. Like everyone's like, I'm not scared of the Undertaker. Gong. Oh, I'm actually scared. So CM Punk, but I think Roman Reigns even more so. He's no-selling the fear and the scariness of the Undertaker. He's not buying into the mind games like you said. So he's so confident. It's so different to see a character have that against the Undertaker because for years he's been considered like invincible, infallible, and now we're seeing kind of the weakness. It's a very interesting wrinkle. Again, it's one of those things where it's like you kind of want to see that with the John Cena mid-card thing, but then when it hits you, you don't really know how to respond.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And, you know, up until this last week, I wasn't really seeing anything about it being The Undertaker's last match, possibly. But now, people are talking about it.
Every week it changes. It's changed every week for the last 5 years. Is it going to get any different?
I guess not. I guess not. We'll never know until he rides off into the sunset, I guess.
So who do you got winning?
Roman.
All right, I agree. Triple H and Seth Rollins in the non-sanctioned match. I want them to do. Do you remember like one of the early SmackDowns in the Alliance, the Invasion storyline, where The Rock challenged Booker T to a lights-out match, and at the very beginning, it was kind of like the equivalent of an unsanctioned match. Yeah. And it killed the lights for half a second and brought him back up. Wouldn't it be weird if they just did that? I think the story is going to be Triple H works the leg. Obviously, that's been the crux of this whole angle over the last several weeks since he got re-injured.
It only takes one leg for a curb stomp.
Yeah, he'll jump up and then pivot his weight. So I don't know, the physics of that I don't think work out. It's just one of those things where I think we want the storybook ending of the Kingslayer. And I think if you have a shirt made that says Kingslayer, you better slay some damn kings, otherwise you'll look kind of silly. So there's a part of me that thinks Rollins should win. However, I think in an effort to make Triple H look especially evil, as if he fucking needs it, and to give Rollins more time to heal up for a big return, have Triple H just destroy Rollins, take him out for months, gives Rollins time to heal up and recuperate his knee back, behind the scenes. Then at SummerSlam to continue that, and then Rollins beats the piss out of Triple H. That's some deep planning.
Yeah, that is some deep planning. I tend to lean towards we may just see Rollins walk out and completely be alleviated of anything.
Some people are theorizing the whole injuries of work, which I think is weird.
Well, but he did that like 2 weeks ago, right? Remember that? He came out on the ramp, and it was like, here comes a cripple, big deal. And all of a sudden he drops the crutch, and it's like, whoa, he's fine. And then he did a springboard and was doing all sorts of stuff. So that tells me...
Adrenaline.
I think Samoa Joe's going to attack Seth Rollins. I think pretty much what you're saying, they're going to destroy Rollins.
Okay, I agree. I think Triple H will win this one. WWE Championship match as Bray Wyatt defends against Randy Orton in a match that had a lot of twists and turns, starting in January when Orton won the Rumble kind of out of nowhere. Bray Wyatt winning the title at the Elimination Chamber. They've been allies before. We see the payoff to the storyline that began back in the fall when they feuded initially. We were there for No Mercy. So now you have the conclusion, or what you think is the conclusion, of Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton head-to-head here.
I think they'll drag it out a little bit longer just because of the whole Sister Abigail house burning.
It's gotten too weird for it to end at WrestleMania now. They really upped the batshit crazy when they did SmackDown this week.
And it's weird, I had a thought they might put Luke Harper in this match too,
Yeah, that felt right.
Yeah, and this match the last Tuesday between Harper and Wyatt was great to me.
If you were given five more minutes, I think it would have been a great match.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, you want to see Harper involved in some way. It might just be a run-in, kind of like what people are saying. It's kind of like the SmackDown equivalent to Samoa Joe not getting booked on anything. So I could see Harper getting involved in this match somehow, whether it be like a swerve back to Wyatt or just something as a blow-off to the Wyatt family feud. Who really knows? But there's a part of me that thinks that Bray's going to retain here.
I have to wonder if Eric Rowan is going to just show up too. I know it's just random, but they've had it happen before, and it's like, oh, it's Eric Rowan, he's back.
The ever-evolving members coming in and out of life keep getting hurt. I mean, I think that Bray should retain. I don't want him to be kind of like a lame duck champion. He only held as kind of a transition from Cena to Orton. Orton, I don't think, needs the belt, so my heart's pulling for Bray Wyatt here. Here it is, folks, the match you've all been waiting for. It's the rematch of the century one final time. It's Brock Lesnar and Goldberg for the Universal Championship.
Oh, predictable.
Well, that's the thing. It's like this match really could go either way. You could either have Goldberg winning again for some reason, or you could have Lesnar claiming his rightful place, getting his win back against Goldberg. people have been theorizing both pretty actively for the last month or so.
Well, yeah, because there's rumor that Goldberg might sign on for a few more matches.
My one hope for this match is that it is more competitive than the previous Goldberg things we've seen. And that's the way he's built toward this whole run is like 2 moves. That's all he's got to do. But no, I mean, if this is your last match at WrestleMania, I think you could get away with that pop for a main event match being that short one time, and you did that at Survivor Series. Don't try and kill the magic by doing it again at WrestleMania. No. Lesnar is Universal Champion. Do you think that's going to happen?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yes. Okay, so we're in agreement. Who knows what the future will hold? Plans are always subject to change when it comes to the WrestleMania and WWE and stuff. So, but for now, I think we're in agreement that Lesnar will win the title.
Absolutely.
So those are our predictions for WrestleMania this year. Let us know what you think is going to happen at the show in the comments section below. If you're going to be in Orlando for WrestleMania weekend, I hope to see you at WrestleCon with special guests D'Lo Brown, and just signed this week, the Sinister Minister, old Sin Min, James Mitchell's going to be joining us at the table as well. And then, of course, the Internet Darlings live on Saturday afternoon with the newly added NXT TakeOver ticket giveaway, the raffle we're having there.
That's right, you can win tickets.
You can only get the tickets if you do the raffle. You can only do the raffle if you go to the show. The link for tickets for Internet Darlings Live is in the link in the description. So until then, folks, be sure to thumbs up this video if you like it, subscribe to Wrestling with Regret, and buy the t-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com. For J Biggs, I'm Brian Zane, and we'll see you next time.